You guys let me know when we're ready to start. We're good? All right, good evening and welcome, District 3. You're going to be the first of the 7 individual districts. Usually being on site with you and being able to talk to people face to face, usually I go through the room and talk to everybody ahead of time and then get a chance to stay around after. So this isn't the way I'd like to do it, but we're going to make technology work as best we can. If you haven't been to one of these, I'll do some opening comments on things going on in the city and things related to District 3. And then Rochelle Riley, the head of the city's Arts and Culture Program, will talk a little bit about what she's doing. And then we will take your questions on whatever topic is on your mind this evening. But I'm going to start on one that we can't ever let get far from our minds, and that's COVID. And so you've seen the numbers over and over. This is a source of, national recognition, what Detroit did in knocking down the infection rate and the death rate in this city in a way that was faster than anybody else. But it's not over. In fact, it's coming back, and we need to be ready for it, and I'll show you why. You may not have started out watching the national maps, but I look at them every day. And this is called a hotspot map, and this is the way it looked in the middle of June. And the way the hotspot map works is red is really hot, blue is cold, meaning the number of new cases is dropping, orange is warm. So the closer you get to orange and red, the more hotspots you have. And in the middle of June, we knew where it was, right? It was in Florida, it was in Louisiana, it was in South Carolina, and it was actually in upstate Michigan. But the country was in good shape on June 16th. And then we made a decision at the national level not to commit to the masks. And by the end of June, look at how the red and dark orange are spreading. Spread up through Florida, spreading up from the south, and you can see them started to head our direction, but you probably on June 30th didn't pay a lot of attention. Then by the middle of July, it started to creep up into hotspots into Tennessee and moving farther north. And today, we now have the orange and red into Ohio and heading in our direction. And Michigan is starting to climb a little bit, but there's no question. The first time this happened to us in March, almost certainly somebody from Europe or Asia came in through Metro Airport and we didn't see it coming. This time, we can see it coming, and we know how to protect ourselves. It's pretty simple. Wear a mask. We'll do it. Tomorrow, Ohio is going to pass Michigan in the number of cases. You remember back in April, a lot of conversation. The governor of Ohio did a fine job, shut that state down early. They had one of the lowest rates in the country. He's still doing a fine job. But Ohio is about to pass Michigan because of the community spread that has come from the south and into the Midwest. In the next couple of weeks, we are going to see more of this in the community. And we know how to prevent it. We did it once, and this time I wanted to keep from taking hold in the first place. So how does Detroit look so far? The commitment to masks in this city is continuing to work. We are doing better than the suburbs. We're doing better than outstate. And this is the first numbers I look at every morning. But back in April, we had 800 people in the hospital, 250 on ventilators on the verge of death. And we got 126 new positive cases. Almost a third of all the cases in the state were out of Detroit. And everybody said that was because we couldn't manage our situation. By the 1st of July, you could see what we'd done. We're down to 150 in the hospital, only 12 on the vents, 21 positive cases. As of today, it's starting to creep back up. Nothing like we saw in April, but we're up to 170, 14 on the vents, 38 new cases. Only 5% of the state, but you can see what is happening. It is starting to creep up. The reason it hasn't exploded this time is because of the commitment the residents of this community have made. And here's the important thing to think about. The last time we had to shut down the whole city. This time, we are not seeing spread coming out of our grocery stores. We're not seeing it come out of our hair and nail salons. We're not seeing it come out of the police department or the fire department. In the workplaces where people are using the mask and are distancing, you're actually going to work and being very safe. The governor just made a decision to allow the casinos to open. Again, the science is on that side. If you're in the casino and you're spaced out and wearing masks, we don't have it. We actually have not seen spread from the protests, because whatever else the protesters have done, they've been very good about wearing masks. They are not spreading this. If you and the person you interact with wears a mask, there is almost no chance of transmission. Where it's happening, and everybody's seen it, it's these neighborhood parties, groups of people talking loudly, spreading the droplets, and those kinds of crowds. If this comes back, it's not going to be because people are at work or people are at school or people are on the bus where people are largely wearing masks. It's going to be because of these events. And it is more critical now than it's been in the last 2 months. Wear your masks. Practice responsibility. And we're going to have to get through this. And this is going to go on. I really think we've got another 6 months of this. But we've proven we can go back to work and not have a problem as long as we wear the mask. And so we're going to be out vigilantly this weekend at events, encouraging people, please don't gather in large crowds. We don't need the governor coming in and shutting things down again. She, obviously, you look at her record, it's been absolutely outstanding. There's been no governor in the country who's handled it better than she has so far, but she's going to have to shut it down if we are not responsible. And the fact that she approved the casinos yesterday is a recognition of what Detroit has done. I want us to see us continue to reopen businesses, not shut them down. And as long as we wear the mask, there's no reason we can't continue to get people back to work. So 60,000 tests done. If you want to test, everybody in this city, free test, call and make an appointment. We'll get you in the next day. You don't need a prescription. There is no place in America you can get a test as easily as in the city of Detroit. At this point, half the southern states are calling us, including California, asking how we do the drive-through testing. We had the advantage here that we have Quicken Loans that set up an appointment process overnight. A lot of other cities don't have that, but we have become the national standard. Take advantage of it. It's there, doesn't cost you anything, and it will give you peace of mind. I am so pleased that City Council has put Proposal N on the ballot and is going to let the people of this city decide. Is the condition of your neighborhoods acceptable to you, or do you want to make a change? And so this is something that's going on for a long time in this city. Elected officials have talked about it and never solved it. And so we had federal money from President Obama. We got 21,000 houses down. We got 14,000 to go, and you can see them. Every one of those red dots is a house that needs to be demolished. In District 3, we have more houses that still need to be demolished than any other district in the city. It's going to come as no surprise to anybody who lives in District 3, and this to me is an equity issue. That every neighborhood in this city deserves to be blight-free, and District 3 has more need to remove blight than any other, and I hope that you will express your feelings on that on November 3rd, because I am going to fight for every single neighborhood being treated the same. But we're not just knocking down for the sake of knocking down. So over in District 3, neighborhood called East Davison Village, we went through and did 166 demolitions. This is the way that we see the future, not randomly knocking down houses, but planning together. And when we did, they worked with the land bank, and you had houses that looked like this that were cleared out, and houses that looked like that were cleared out, but we didn't just let them sit there. We got together with the neighbors, and the neighbors turned those vacant lots into community gardens supported by the communities left behind. Can you imagine how the quality of life in that neighborhood changed when they turned burned out houses into gardens? And here's the other thing. When you knock down the burned out houses, there are other houses in that same neighborhood that was sitting there empty. But instead of demolishing it, we sold it to a family. And this is how it looks today. This is what we want to do with Proposal N. We want to go through in partnership with the neighborhoods. and help you reimagine the neighborhood you want to live in. We've got 8,000 vacant houses in this city today that can be saved and renovated. Everybody in this town has seen them. People cleared out of here so fast in the last decade, they left behind really good houses. And in District 3 alone, we've got 2,000 vacant houses that can be saved and move families in. Imagine what this part of the east side would be like if we had 2,000 more families. What would it do to pressure on housing prices to have those extra houses there? And so what City Council did, and Councilman Scott Benson from District 3 led the charge on this, said we're going to build this around 6 principles. First, our first priority is we're going to save every house we can save. We've got 8,000 houses we can save. Let's go in and secure them right now, clean them out, make them safe, fix the roofs, because we want families to move in. We'll knock down the houses that can't be saved, and the land bank in the coming week is going to be knocking down its last house and will be forever out of the demolition business. And nobody's going to be happier than the land bank. They want to be in the business of putting houses back in people's hands. They don't want to be knocking anything down. But for everything that you've heard of in recent years, the city of Detroit is now taking demolition over. When we do that, we can legally give preference to Detroit companies. We can get them to hire Detroiters. We couldn't do this with the federal money, but with city money, we can give preference to our own companies, hiring our own residents, and we can do it with no increase in your taxes. Because we're paying off so much debt coming out of bankruptcy, we're actually able to borrow this new money without raising your taxes above where it is. You're going to have to pay over more years, much like when you refinance a mortgage, but your taxes will not go up if you decide to do this. And so, house after house, we have been able to go in and fix them up. And a lot of people say, you can't save that house. And now it looks like this. We can do this 8,000 times with 8,000 families. How many houses in your neighborhood do you remember the family that moved out? Do you want to see it knocked down, or do you want to see it saved? I know we got a lot that we can't save, but we also have a lot that we can. And here's our problem. You've seen this happen. We have 1,000 houses a year that you could save today, but if you leave it open, even with plywood, we've got arsonists, we've got vandals, we've got the rain, and so 1,000 times a year, a house that we could have gotten fixed up deteriorates to the point it can't be saved. This house on Hamburg could have been saved last August. It's gone today. 1,000 times a year, a house that could have been saved today gets lost. We want to move in immediately and secure them. And so here's how we're going to do. We're going to go into these houses that can be saved, and we're going to clean them out. You know what these messes look like. We're going to clean the messes out. And then we're going to secure them not with plywood, which was certainly a step forward, but with plexiglass, the secure view, which is essentially bulletproof plexiglass that is closed with a padlock that keeps people out of the houses. We've had too many times with plywood. Somebody moves in is dealing drugs. Somebody's up to activities you don't want in the neighborhood. They pry the wood off. And we're going to go in and fix the roofs. Because it doesn't do any good to seal the house if the water's coming in the rain and the basement's filled with water, and now the house is gone for good. And we're going to partner with our community partners and our neighbors, just like we did in Davison Village, to get people who are plugged into the community, nonprofits and churches, to help renovate those houses so that people in this city can buy them. Detroit companies need to do this work. We're going to lose the $600 supplement to the unemployment benefits really this week. And the economic impact on this city is going to be severe. We have got to get economic opportunities going again. And I don't, if we're going to wait for President Trump, we could wait a long time. So what we want to do is this. With this $250 million, we will give the preferences we can lawfully do to Detroit-based or Detroit headquartered businesses. We give preferences to people who hire 51% Detroiters. And for the first time that I can ever remember, the reason Proposal N got on the ballot was a coalition of 20 black Detroit contractors came in and said, we like these rules. We will succeed on these rules. We'll grow and we'll hire Detroiters. And they led the charge on this, and you'll hear them leading the charge on this campaign because they believe deeply that the system that we have proposed now is going to drive the work to the qualified companies in our town, and there's going to be a binding commitment to hire 51% Detroiters to do the work. We're going to put Detroiters to work. It's going to take a while to come out of this recession, but they start off as good-paying laborer jobs and can work up to inspector jobs and really good-paying higher-level positions. And we're going to be talking about training academies being run out of Detroit at Work so that we can fill these positions. We can do this without raising taxes because of the way we behave. City Council has been an extraordinary partner in the way we've managed our finances. The kind of nonsense fighting you saw in the past, we've stood together on this. 7 bond rating upgrades. We've had City Council members go with me to New York to Wall Street analysts to pitch together, and they said they've never seen that. The mayor and a council coming together on the vision for the future. And so we are being told right now that because we have done so well paying off our debt, that they anticipate we will have no trouble selling these bonds. And because it'll be spread out for more years, your taxes will not be any higher than they are now. And so that's what we view as Proposal N. Renovate 8,000 houses, knock down 8,000 houses, put Detroit companies and Detroiters to work without increasing your taxes. It's your money and it's your decision, and on November 3rd, you're going to get a chance to decide. But here's what happens. When you fill neighborhoods in with families, and we've seen this happen on Livernois on the west side, you can also do it on the east side. And so we'll take shopping districts like this on Conan, and we'll invest in the streetscape itself. And so this summer, you're going to see us start to do this. This has been designed and partnered with the neighbors, but this is the way Conan is going to look by next year. We're building the kind of commercial corridors that we can be proud of, where people want to live in the area and businesses will want to open. And of course, Joseph Campo, which certainly has not been a stellar example of a good commercial district, is under construction now, and we're trying to accomplish the same thing there in District 3. We can invest in our commercial districts, and it takes an old building like this on Conant, and by next year, we'll be open as a market to serve the community in an area where we're filling in houses, in an area where we rebuilt the street. This is our vision of Proposal N and the way that it will fit together. And then Transfiguration School has been abandoned for years, and by next year, it's going to be opened up they're going to convert those old grade school classrooms into 19 housing units, all affordable, that will be open next year. So instead of an eyesore in the neighborhood, it'll be an anchor that'll bring people back, bring customers back, which makes businesses want to come back and makes the whole neighborhood stronger. These are the kinds of things that you can expect from us in District 3 in the next year. And so you're going to get a chance on November 3rd, it's a lot of money, but we're watching thousands of houses go from good to bad, or we can make 8,000 houses go in that direction, and that's the choice that we'll have to make as a community. So as you can see, I spent a lot of time dealing with issues like COVID, dealing with issues like the protests, but the really enjoyable part of the day is planning for rebuilding our neighborhoods, and I do think it's realistic. When we were in bankruptcy, everything related to the Arts Council was abolished. It was like arts was something Detroit couldn't afford, and yet in our history, arts and culture have been a huge part of this city's history. But it was one of those things that say, it's not that important. And I was extremely anxious to make arts and culture a huge part of rebuilding the city. And Rochelle Riley, when she approached me after her very distinguished career at the Free Press, and said she had one more thing she wanted to contribute, because it had broken her heart to see the way the city had walked away from its arts heritage. She said, I'd like to help bring it back. And when you see what she's doing, I think you'll agree with me, she was the only choice. So our Director of Arts, Culture, and Entertainment, I know when she was working in the newspaper, she never thought she'd be working for government, but she's doing terrific, Rochelle Riley. Rochelle?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm very thrilled to wear my vote mask. So make sure no matter what we're talking about, you talk about that. 14 months ago, I was the media, but now I am a very proud public servant of another kind, and that is someone who is working very hard to remind you that our creative entrepreneurs, our creative economy, our creative workers are one of the biggest segments of workers that we have in the city. So it's not just a hobby, it's not just for fun, it's arts, culture, and entrepreneurship. I have built the entire Office of Arts, Culture, and Entrepreneurship, and the mayor laughs at me sometimes because we did start out as the Office of Arts, Culture, and Entertainment. And then I switched to Arts, Culture, and Education, and he said, "You will call it anything as long as you can get some money." And the answer was yes. But we landed on entrepreneurship because I am working with entrepreneurs. I'm working with sole proprietors. I'm working with people who do this for a living. So we built everything on partnerships, partnering with artists, arts organizations, arts and culture offices, and some of the most amazing people at City Hall and other departments to do everything we've done. As I've said since we announced this program last spring, I did not take this position to reinvent the wheel. I want to figure out how to grease the wheel, fix the wheel, replace broken wheels. Our creative community is world-class and sometimes undervalued, and that changes now. So, partnerships. We partner with the Detroit Regional Convention Facility, Authority, Art Foundation, see their name is longer than my department, to commission a public sculpture in front of the TCF Center. It will bear the names of donors to the Detroit Arts Fund. And I can tell you that some of these works of art that we've seen are gorgeous, so I can't wait for that to be announced later this fall. We partnered with a bunch of people to launch the Artist Relief Fund to make sure that our gig artists, our people who are musicians or who lost their exhibits or lost their book tours, had a chance to get some help from us. And I partnered with Mitch Albom and with Huntington Bank and with Walker Miller Energy Services and Metro Solutions, and got people that I know and a couple that I didn't from around the country to come in and do this telethon that we had that was pretty amazing. And we raised, we were supposed to try and raise $50,000, and we raised $70,000, and we're still raising money because they still need help. We partnered with various arts organizations to host a series of conversations called The Way Forward. We have had 16 of them so far. They're every Tuesday and Thursday at noon. It's a Zoom conversation. If you go to detroitmi.gov/ACE, you can find out what they are. We've talked about dance and theater and entrepreneurship and film. Today we talked about design and architecture and photography. This is a chance for us to talk about what it's going to look like and what we need to do to make sure that our creative arts community is not a casualty of COVID. And the conversations can be seen or heard. You can go back and see all of them. It's on that same site, detroitmi.gov/ACE. We have a recording of every Zoom conversation. We partnered with the Detroit Public Library for the 313 Summer Reading Challenge. We want to log 3.13 million minutes reading. All you have to do is go and sign up, and whether you're reading a book or reading a paper at work or, you know, I've got my Brad Thor novel over there on the floor, you just want to log it in and see if we can't all do this while we're working this summer. We also partnered with the Detroit Public Schools Community District on their annual Evening of Fine Arts, where we saw some of the most amazing kids do some of the most amazing things. We partnered with the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation to launch an open call for artists to submit their designs for the 41st annual Detroit Jazz Festival poster. It was an amazing open call. We had amazing artists. That committee was blown away by what they saw from Detroit artists. And I can tell you very proudly that they have notified me that the winner is Sanders Skip Bryant. He is an amazing artist, an amazing entrepreneur. He also does work for the city in our Detroit media department. And you see on the right just a sample of some of his art. You can't see the art poster until we reveal it. When I worked at the Courier-Journal in Louisville, Kentucky, our revelation, our big unveiling of the Kentucky Derby poster was an event. So we plan to have an event to unveil this poster. But when I tell you that it is one of the most amazing things that you will ever see, and the foundation has agreed that all proceeds from the sales of the poster will come to Detroit ACE and the Arts Fund. So money, Mr. Mayor. We partnered with the Detroit Media Services Department to create the Detroit Arts and Entertainment Channel. We're going to host Black Heritage Classic films, children's art classes, and music performances. And I can tell you that we already have a sponsor for these Detroit Black films. We're talking Oscar Micheaux films from the 1920s all the way up to films from the 1960s. And we're very proud that Walker Miller Energy Services has agreed to be a sponsor to host those films. We also got a coalition of about 9 children's organizations that are providing things on their Facebook pages or on their websites. Well, they got together as a group and created a block of programming for children so that they can come right to our channel and watch art classes and music classes and some other fun stuff that you will see starting there in about 2 weeks. But the most important thing, and I don't know why that looks like that, the most important thing that I can do for my city, for our city, is what the mayor tasked me with right now, and that's to do the Citywide Memorial to honor victims of COVID-19, our Detroit residents that we've lost. We're also going to commemorate Detroit's resiliency. Imagine needing 1,500 funerals but not being able to have more than 10 people in a church. Well, we have found a way. We're going to have Detroit Memorial Day, which the mayor declared last week. August 31st is going to be Detroit Memorial Day every year, but this Memorial Day, we're going to hold the second of a 2-day commemoration that honors Detroiters we've lost to the global pandemic and salutes all of those frontline workers who literally are giving their lives and their hearts to trying to keep people alive and to keep people safe and to make sure that we have some quality of life. So we're talking about frontline workers in the hospitals, we're talking about frontline workers in the community centers and food banks and churches. Everybody who is stepping up the way we do in Detroit anyway, we're going to honor. So we're also going to work with the Detroit City Council to have a district celebration of life in each of the city council districts. So at 5 p.m. on Sunday, which is Memorial Eve, we're going to have an hour-long simultaneous event. They're all going to happen at 5 o'clock wherever you live, and your council member is going to be working with his or her constituents to figure out what that's going to be. We have all kinds of suggestions that are coming in, and we're letting the folks who work in those districts decide. So what happens in District 1 with James Tate may not be what happens in District 5 with Mary Sheffield, but whatever is going to happen will happen at 5 o'clock. And then on Detroit Memorial Day, the city will host the Memorial Drive on Belle Isle. We are going to have a route, and this is going to be not so much a funeral procession, but since we didn't get to have a dream cruise this year, we're going to have a spirit cruise to honor and celebrate and say goodbye to folks who deserve to have huge funerals and huge homegoings. I watched John Lewis's homegoing today. It was amazing. President Barack Obama is still the president. And what we're going to do is have them drive around the island past photos of their loved ones. They are blown up really big because I like really big. They're 4x4 sort of billboard size, and that route is going to be marked and be staffed by volunteers who will have Kleenex and smiles and words of condolence as people go around so that they can see their loved ones for one last time. And we're very excited about how that whole day is going to work. It's going to start at 7 a.m. when the first set of mourners arrive at the staging site, and we'll continue in groups throughout the day so that Chief James Craig does not kill me. And then at 8:45 a.m., residents across Southeast Michigan from every neighborhood, church, business, street are going to be asked to ring bells for 15 minutes to honor the more than 1,500 souls we have lost to the pandemic. And then at 9 a.m. sharp, the mourners will start their drive around the island to say goodbye. Members of the Belle Isle Conservancy are going to join them first with white gloves and flowers, and then our volunteers, and I'm partnering with the Department of Neighborhoods, one of those amazing departments that I've mentioned, some of the hardest working people I've ever seen in any company anywhere. They are going to be lining that whole route to make sure that people get what they need. We're going to shut down at 4 p.m. because the Department of Natural Resources made me promise, and because I promised Tony Michaels that we would get everybody home to watch the parade company fireworks on television. So we're going to go from being a little sad to being really excited and watching something great. And we hope this will be something great. So one of the things that we're going to do is remind you that we ain't done nothing yet. We've got so much coming in the second half of 2020 and all of 2021 that will be devoted to recovery and progress. You can keep up with all of it at detroitmi.gov/ACE. You can call me on my cell phone at 313-720-1016. Yeah, I said that. 313-720-1016. And anytime you think I'm not doing something right, you can call Arthur Jemison. I'm teasing. He does not want you to call him. But I do want you to know that you can keep up with everything we're doing on Twitter at Detroit Aces, or you can follow me at Rochelle Riley. And beginning on Monday, our neighborhoods page is going to be back in full force with Eric Thomas, and we're going to have updates on what's happening with the neighborhood, what's happening with the district celebrations, and what's happening with the memorial celebration. So you'll find answers to questions, you'll find an occasional story about someone who has lost a loved one and is excited about going out to the island. And anything that you think Detroit Ace ought to be doing, let me know. Thank you so much, and Mr. Mayor is going to come back for questions.
Thank you, Rochelle. You're doing an extraordinary job. Can you put that last slide back up there on how people can call in with questions? You guys are too efficient. So we're going to put that back up, and you're going to get a chance to call in. And with me are most of the department heads. Chief Craig's here, Denise Farron, the health director, and Nicole Sherrod Freeman, who runs Detroit at Work, Gary Brown, Water Department, Saskia Thompson runs the land bank. I'm looking around the room. So most of the department heads are here. You got questions about Rochelle, about how you participate in the arts and culture program, or anything that's on your mind. So the way this works, I'm going to explain it as best I can, is that you raise your hand online, and when the host recognizes you, please make sure to unmute yourself. You have to do it yourself, otherwise you'll think we're ignoring you, but it just means we can't hear you. And so if you have a question, please ask it, and I'll get it to whoever is the most appropriate person. If you just want to talk, you have up to 60 seconds, because we want to get through as many people as we can. And with that, let's start taking questions. I hope most of our questions will come from District 3. This is your chance to talk about what's in your community. So if you start by telling me your name and where you're from.
The first question is from Frank. Please unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
Thank you. Frankly, I don't have a question, but I do have a couple of comments I'd like to make. Mr. Mayor, it was great when you visited our neighborhood last year, and we were discussing topics of interest in District 3. And so having the opportunity to speak to you again is great. But the things I really wanted to touch on really involves, COVID. And I just want to applaud you and your administration and all those that support you with regards to how you've been addressing that. The testing was great. I remember having it done maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. The turnaround time was quick on the results, unlike what I hear in a lot of other cities and a lot of other states. And it's probably got even better since then. So I applaud you on that. But I also want to recognize one of the District 3 managers who also has been instrumental in helping address some concerns in that particular area as well. Earlier, many of the residents in my block club didn't have the PPE. They didn't have gloves. They didn't have masks. And Ernest Johnson was very, very instrumental in addressing that need. And the only other comment I really want to make has to do with Proposal N. I think directionally that's the right thing to do. I've even addressed the city council a couple of times on that, encouraging them to do it. What I find most interesting there is that...
Keep going. We're solving our technical problems, but you go ahead. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. What I wanted to say was, with regards to addressing blight, I don't know if there's too many things right now that's more important than that, other than just trying to manage the crime. But the blight itself is really, really important. Again, being a block club president, also being a member of CB Radio Patrol, and I get to see a pretty wide spread of that. And it troubles me sometimes when I see kids walking to school and they have to go past these houses.
Yeah.
They don't need to be there, but as you pointed out, those that can be restored, it would be nice, and it's going to be great to see that happen. So I'm encouraged, by that. And I think the information that's been shared out of your District 3 office, Kayana Sessoms, shared a lot of information with me. And I shared that with a number of individuals who are part of my constituency. And so we need to be informed on that. The fact that it's going to be on the ballot, I think, is wonderful. But I think our residents really need to have a clear understanding as all the merits there, the things that you highlighted earlier. So I just want to commend you and your staff and the city council for working collaboratively to make that happen.
Well, thank you. It was good being out in your neighborhood. You know, once a week I was sitting in somebody's living room or backyards in a different neighborhood, and I felt like I was really in touch with what's going on. And it's been really hard not to be able to do that. Maybe we'll do some socially distanced backyard neighborhood gatherings, because I'm really anxious to get out and be face to face in neighborhoods again. We're going to figure that out. But thank you for the call. All right, who's next?
Next is Miriam. Please unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Okay, Miriam, you're up.
How's everybody today? Hopefully everybody's safe and sound. I just want to commend you, Mayor Duggan. I'm looking for another round with you, and you're really holding your word, and I'm impressed. When I come home, I'm happy to see what I see in the neighborhood. After working a long day, hard day of work, you know, you want to come home to something that's inviting, and that's what we've been seeing with them fixing the streets and cutting the lawn, and as well as our organization getting involved as well. We know that you've been listening, and we so appreciate you, and you have a dynamic team with Miss Kenyana Session. You know, she's my star too. But I just would like to say thank you, and we really feel like you're a part of our family. That's why we welcome you to come out anytime. And we're looking for this proposal in. We're going to say yes, because we do need these changes. And I'm just so appreciative of what's going on now.
All right, well, I hope you feel the same way about me next year. All right, who's next? Thank you.
Next is Lenora. Please unmute yourself and identify yourself.
And if you can tell me what neighborhood you're from, so I could get a sense of your community.
Hi, can you hear me? My name is Lenora Chambliss, and I'm from District 3.
Go ahead, we can hear you, Lenore.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure. Well, first of all, I do want to commend Kayana and Ernest. I live on Hull Street, and I had a problem with our bulk items not being picked up. So I met with them Monday, and they saw to it that things were handled. So I do want to commend them for that. I want to commend you as well, because you were part of the reason why I moved back to the state, because of the improvements that I did see. So I do thank you for that. However, in this area where you're working at, or going to be working at, it's so detrimental. It's like the area that I'm in, the house is run down next door, and I've been maintaining it, the lot across the street and things of that sort. So I just really want to see more work being done over in the area.
Do you think the house next door to you, we could get fixed up and move somebody in, or is it too far gone?
I don't think it's too far gone. It's not too. It's been vacant for over 20 years, but it is a corner home. So with that being said, the alley part of it, it's a nuisance. It's driving me insane. I just paid over $1,000 to get the lot across the street fixed.
All right, and so has your block club requested the alley cleanup?
I don't know if there's a block club.
Well, if you can be the president, sounds like, but if you formed a block club and you petition, Ernie and Kayana will make sure that we come through and clean out the alleys. That's true across the city. So block clubs across this city are petitioning, and we are going to get every alley over the next 3 years. City Council has appropriated the money for it, but we're going in order of block clubs coming forward first. And Ernie gets credit as a district manager every time a new block club is formed, so I'm sure you're going to hear from him tomorrow.
Okay. Well, that'll work for me. I talk to them quite frequently now.
Okay.
And then one more issue.
Go ahead.
On June 23rd, and I didn't bring it up to Ernest, I meant to, but on June 23rd, DPD, state police, they were trying to apprehend someone. And well, they did. And they ended up bringing that person out of my backyard. And so what they did was they tore down my gate. So I want to know how I can go about getting that.
You know what? We're going to have a man who's going to fix that for you. Chief Craig, come on up here, and let's get this gate repaired. Go ahead.
How you doing? Yeah, we'll definitely get to
Oh,
work
well,
on
thank
that.
you.
You're in what precinct?
7 Mile and Woodward.
7 Mile and Board. I think it's number 12. That's 12. So I can, some kind of way we can get a contact number off air, and we'll facilitate that for you.
Okay.
You could just, we'll make sure we get it done. And if not, you can certainly call my office, but I'm sure that 12 Precinct will facilitate that for you. I heard the incident, but I'm not familiar with it. But we'll definitely look
Yeah,
into
it was June 23rd.
June 23rd.
Yeah, that's all I can say. I just remember the date.
So we'll get the
Okay.
number, and someone will be calling
Okay.
you, if not tonight, first thing in the morning.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you all for everything.
All right.
So you just make sure that Ernest knows the address, and he'll get it to the chief, and if we broke the gate, we'll repair the gate. Okay, so you got to remember to raise your hand in order to be recognized in this process. So who's our next caller?
As a reminder, telephone participants, please press *9 to raise your hand.
Okay, so if you're on a telephone, hit *9. That causes your hand to be raised. I guess we're learning this technology stuff together. So I want everybody to be able to participate in this.
Okay. The next caller is the phone number ending in 014. Please unmute and introduce yourself.
Okay, so if you're calling in on a phone and your own number ends in 014, we're talking to you. So if you unmute yourself and say hello.
It's Diane Allen.
All right, you know how this
Hear me?
works. We can hear you loud and clear, Ms. Allen. We could hear you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Ms. Allen, go ahead. You are unmuted. We will move to the next caller and come right back to you, okay?
I'm talking.
There you go.
Talking.
There you go.
We can hear you
Okay,
now.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I missed the first half of the meeting. I was on the Zoom call with We Care About 7 Mile and Van Dyke. Last year at a house party, Mayor, I asked you a question about the property at Sherwood and Outer Drive, and you said that there were plans in the making to do something with
Right.
that property.
Right.
And still is vacant, and I was wondering if there is still plans to do something with all that land right there at Sherwood and Outer Drive.
So is this the old Kmart site? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, uh-huh.
So between FCA and General Motors, which is going to be building all of its electric SUVs and trucks at the Poletown plant in Detroit, there are going to be several auto parts plants going to be sited in the next year. And that is one of the sites that I am pitching to the suppliers. That all got pushed back about 3 or 4 months with COVID, and it slowed down the auto industry quite a bit. But we are in competition for a number of supplier plants, and I'm hoping that's one of them because it's one of the few sites left in the city that's big enough to accommodate it. So I'm working hard at it. I'm familiar with your site, and I'm working hard at it. And as soon as the auto companies start moving forward on their plans, I'm going to be back in pitching. And actually, those conversations have started in the last week or two.
Thank you, and I appreciate you and proposal in, okay?
I haven't forgotten about you. Thank you.
I know you haven't. Okay, thank you.
Next is phone number ending with 735. Please unmute yourself and identify yourself.
Okay, if your phone number ends with 735, you are up.
You are unmuted.
Hello.
There you go.
Hey, how are you doing, Mary, and everyone that's on the panel?
Good.
My name is Eric Huggins, and I'm the president of Lappin Block Club off of 7 Mile and Ross.
Okay.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can. How are we doing in your neighborhood?
Oh, we're doing well over here. Kenyatta, she's a very good supporter of our block club here. And we just recently came a block club a year ago, so I'm a baby in the walk and steady learning. But she is very resourceful and helpful for us. But I have a question for one of the panels, which is land bank. I've been trying to get the lot next door to me, and I've been keeping it up for a year and a half. And I was trying to purchase it, and maybe it's the COVID that's holding the process up, or what can I do about purchasing it?
So Saskia Thompson, the head of the land bank, is here, and if she owns it, I know she wants to give it to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been waiting on it.
Hi again, I'm Saskia Thompson with the Land Bank. If we can get the address, I think we can, there's a way to leave your information. Yeah, if you can leave your information with a way to contact you and the address of the lot that you want to get, I'll make sure that we look into that. Sometimes there's a delay in getting a hold of the lots while we clear. If there was a demolition on the site, we have to clear the lien. Sometimes we have to clear title, but if it's next to you, there shouldn't really be a reason why we can't at some point transfer the lot to you, and I would be happy to do so. So if we can get the information, I'll contact you tomorrow and make sure we get that resolved.
Wonderful. So who do I leave it with, or the address or whatnot to the lot?
Yeah, they know how, yeah.
So Ernest says he has your number. And so you are going to get a phone call from Director Thompson tomorrow, and we'll grind through whatever the issues are so that if there's any legal way possible we can get it to you, we will. I think we've moved now 7,000 or 8,000 vacant lots. We don't want the lots. We want them in your hands, and we'll move it to you if we can.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your service as a block club president.
Yes, and matter of fact, if you can come out and show some support, we having a block club celebration August the 15th. We got light builders to be on hand, giving out information. Sure. We got hot dogs and all of that giveaways and entertainment and just a whole bunch of fun. And then the social distance. And we have a 9th precinct that would be governing it and also doing foot patrol to make sure everybody is safe and comfortable.
So I have my medical team, which has basically kept me locked up for the last few months, but I am going to start getting out in ways that they approve. So if you've got a socially distanced plan, I will come out to your event.
Yes, sir. I look forward to you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you and everyone on the panel. God bless you.
Next, phone number ending in 014.
Okay.
You are unmuted.
If your number ends in 014, you are up. Please unmute and introduce yourself.
I already spoke. That's okay. I don't need to speak again. Thank you.
Okay. You don't have. If you have any more questions, you can go again. All right.
Sorry. Next, phone number ending in 277. You are unmuted.
Okay. Phone number ending 277.
Hi.
Hello. We can hear you.
Audience with you. Hi. I just wanted to tell you that I live on Waverly between Lawton and Wildermere, and there is an after-hour joint in a house that was vacant. I think there's a squatters there, but it's been going on for over 1 year. I've called the 10th precinct several times, and they come out and they do nothing. And since the 4th of July, it's gotten even worse because they come in the middle of the night, and then when daylight hits, they're parked up and down the street in front of everybody's house. They're standing outside playing music, smoking weed, cussing, shooting, doing everything. Nobody has on a mask. And it's just ridiculous. And I'm wondering what can be done. And this is like 6 o'clock in the morning is when they come out of the after hour joint, and they're just lined up in front of the houses for hours or two. And it's like we're held hostage in our homes. And my family has owned this house since 1960. And I just don't think it's fair that we should have to live like this.
And you're saying they're operating, you think it's a house that they don't own, that they're operating out of?
Yes, it's the fifth house.
I don't want you to
from the
say this
corner-
over the air because I'm going to take your information. But if it's a house that they don't
Okay.
own, we have lots of ways to go at this. I don't know if we have anybody here from the 10th precinct, but I'm going to take your number offline, and I can see the chief
Okay.
looking very angry. So I got a feeling
Very upset.
somebody is going to hear about this shortly, but we can do a couple of things. If they're illegally in the house, we definitely can remove them. Whether they're illegally in the house or not, this kind of activity just isn't acceptable. So do we have a way of getting the information? Okay, we're going to get back to you in the morning, and we're going to jump right on this.
Okay,
Go ahead,
so
Chief,
got
you want to
my-
talk?
You have a way
Okay,
of-
the
you have
chief's
my number?
mad. He wants to talk. Hang on.
How you doing? Yes, I am very angry.
Hi.
I'm very
Hi.
angry. You know, I know that, here's some good news. We have a new commander at the 10th precinct, Commander Tiffany Stewart, and
Okay.
I have someone from our chief's liaison, neighborhood liaison office here with me tonight. She's going to get that information. We do a lot of squatter complaints, but I apologize as you've waited a year and there's been no action. But I promise you, we'll be on it as soon as we get your information. And I think if we can give that to our captain who's here today, and we'll follow up right away. Okay?
You know, I appreciate that. And the reason why I'm just now following up on it, because I was taking care of my 88-year-old mom for years, and she just passed away from COVID, and that's the last immediate member of my family.
I'm so sorry to hear
So
that.
I don't really want to have to move. You know what I mean?
Don't have
and,
to.
I did, when I did try to, the last time I tried to do something about this, it seemed strange that somebody kicked in my back door. And then I heard that one of the other neighbors that lived next door to this house, which does not have an address,
Yes.
strangely, there's no address on there, they got robbed as well. So I think neighbors are afraid at this point.
We want to make sure you're not afraid, and we want to take care of this issue. We deal with a lot of squatter issues. This will be no different. And when we talk to you, I'd like to know who you may have talked to at the 10th precinct. You don't have to say it now,
Okay.
but certainly when we follow up, I would like to personally know that. So we'll take care.
Okay, thank you. And by the way, I think you're doing a wonderful job, you and the mayor.
Well, I thank you so much for that.
Okay, we've got the information? Okay, we've got your information. You're going to hear from the police department tomorrow.
Okay, thank you
All right.
so much. All right, bye-bye.
Next is phone number ending in 033. You are unmuted.
033, if that's the end of your phone number, please unmute your phone and say hello. Your phone number ends in 033. You're up.
You are unmuted.
Can you hear me, Mayor?
I sure can.
Okay, good evening, Mayor Mike Duggan. My name is Dr. Cheryl Moore. I'm the president of the North Central Block Club Association, and I reside in District 3. And basically, I have some clarification questions. Ms. Riley had indicated that they were going to do a memorial service.
Right.
For the COVID-19 people. I wanted to know specifically what date that was. And in addition to that, Mayor, you had indicated that they were going to do some construction to the commercial buildings on Joseph Campo. I wanted to know a specific location for that. And you had indicated they were going to put up a market on Conant, and I wanted a specific location for that. And the school that you had indicated that was going to have the 19 units, and that's going to be open next year. I wanted a specific location for that. I'm on the audio. I was on the Zoom.
Oh, I see.
And
okay.
the
Okay.
voice kept cutting in and out, blinking in and off. So I went into the audio. So I couldn't actually see a lot of visual slides and stuff that you had. And so that is my question.
Okay, the
Thank
school is the old Transfiguration grade school. That's the school they're working on. They're making that into the 19 units. What was the address on Conant? 44, my mind isn't what it used to be.
Mr. Mayor, it's 12449.
12449 Conant, which is, we have a plan in place that if all goes well, will be a market this time next year. And then in Joseph Campo, there is a whole neighborhood design process with the Campo Banglatown community. And they're designing together what they want to see in that streetscape, and then we're going to get investment as we've done on Grand River on the west side, as we're doing now on Kercheval near Van Dyke. But that Joseph Campo stretch, I think, has real potential, although you probably wouldn't think it to drive it today. But I think it's got quite a bit of upside. And Rochelle, you want to repeat the information on the memorial?
Good evening. On August 30th, in your district, District 3, there's going to be a special twilight ceremony at 5 p.m. And the next day, August 31st, which is a Monday, is when there's going to be the memorial drive around Belle Isle. So can I answer any questions about that in particular? Are you good? That's good?
I think that answers everything.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the clarification.
Thank you so much. Bless your heart.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. We're all learning this technology together, and it'll be easier when we're face-to-face again.
Yes, I realize that there.
All right, who's next?
Next, phone number ending in 002.
002, if that's the last 3 digits of your phone numbers. You're up.
Yeah, this is, my name is Broderick Hunter. Can you hear me, Mayor?
I can, Mr. Hunter. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. First of all, sir, I want to congratulate you for a job well done. I mean, man, you're awesome.
Well, thank you.
I also want to
You live in Detroit?
give yes, I'm in
I'm
Detroit.
glad to hear that. Go ahead.
Yes, yeah, I'm glad to hear it too. I've been, born and bred here.
All right.
I want to also thank the city council. Man, they're a fantastic group of people. You've been working great with them. And almost I want to thank JC, the police commissioner. Man, you're awesome too.
JC, all right.
Yeah, he has the thick skin. I love that. And I also want to thank you, Mayor, for giving District 3 the 2 best district managers in the city of Detroit. I cannot believe it, man. Those
Really?
are awesome. They're awesome. Okay, first of all, I've been through, a lot here on Cary Street. I'm Cary Street Block Club president.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes, and I'm from 8 Mile to Otter Drive.
Yeah, we got some work to do over your way.
Yes, we have a lot of work. I'm glad you had the land bank with you. I have a lot of land bank problems here on Cary Street. One particular, I discussed it with my deputy district manager. She's a sweetheart. She's my MVP. Okay. First of all, I like to get with the land
Come on,
bank.
Saskia. We're gonna bring the land bank director up, and if she can't get you answers today, she's gonna get you answers tomorrow. But let me put Saskia Thompson.
That'd be fine. That'd be fine.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
Yes, ma'am. I have a pretty dangerous situation here on a property that was, it was a demolition years and years ago, but it's real dangerous. It's on the corner of Cary and Savage. The address would be 20400. It has been torn down, but it has not been properly taken care of as far as filling the basement, tearing down trees. Now, I did get the tree torn down. You guys really responded on that. It took a while, but you guys did it on the tree, and I'm glad of that. But the most dangerous and serious problem is the basement is not filled up properly. I done went through 2 district managers already trying to get this problem done, but it seems like it's been mind-boggling to everyone. I don't know why I can't get it done. I done called every offices in the city of Detroit to get this property taken care of. I mean, it's my project. I take care of it. I put money in it. I put flowers on it. I rejuvenate it. I mean, I've been doing it for years now. And I finally get a chance to talk to someone who's in the land bank that can really get this thing solved. So,
Okay.
I really appreciate if you can do this for me. And I think the whole block of Cary will appreciate it too. I really do. And thank you very much for taking my call. Thank you all, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I think we have your return information. I will call you tomorrow. We also have the addresses that you mentioned, so we can send an inspector out and hopefully get it resolved pretty quickly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you for those questions. Who's up?
Next, phone number ending in 683.
683.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening.
My name's Campbell, James Campbell. I'm Vice President of East Outer Drive Block Club between Van Dyke and Sherwood. We have a double whammy for a problem here in our area.
Okay.
We have vehicles, that is commercial vehicles, that travel down our street that is clearly saying between 7 and 7, you're not supposed to be traveling. But the most important thing here is we have this not drag racing down from west of Van Dyke on Outer Drive going towards Mound Road. They're not drag racing, it's more like a rally race.
Yeah.
If we can get someone to just put a police car out, it would stop it all. Could you help us, please?
All right. So let's take a note of that. The chief just got called away on an issue that he's dealing with. Have we got the details on this? But the drag racing, the drifting, we're spending a lot of time at it right now. And the chief has made it a really high priority. I don't know how many cars we've seized so far this summer, but we will pay special attention to that area.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Next, phone number ending in 483. You're next.
483.
Good evening, Mayor, and everyone who can hear me. This is Imam Arif Huskic. How are you all?
Imam, thank you for calling in.
Thank you. And not only for that, Mayor, I was in Hamtramck for 18 years, but because of you and your service and leadership, I moved in Detroit in District 3.
All right, you're moving uptown. I like that.
Service. I like to commend Kayana and Ernie for their leadership as well in District 3. I heard that you said today that there is 8,000 more vacant homes in Detroit. And thank you for focusing on District 3 at this time. I'm being so happy to continue with Kayana and Ernie, and with yourself as well, your team, to make this district better than any others. Let others be jealous of our beauty here.
You think you could work with us on renovating a few houses?
Yes, I will. If you remember when I was in your office,
I do.
I'm working with my team on that. Continue. Due to coronavirus, we really couldn't proceed physically with that, but due to shutdown places of worship, we started in April, first Friday, global prayers on Friday, 3 p.m. Kayana attended several hour prayers meetings. I appreciate her. And we are focusing, Mayor, on Detroit to do housing in Detroit with training hands-on. We want to educate our youth and unemployed people on those housing projects, housing renovations. There is many different programs like painting, flooring, roofing, whatever that is, siding. That is programs, educational programs that we like to train people and guide them to the jobs. There is many employers, but we don't have a trained, skilled people who even know how to work in construction. We need to teach them from A to Z and guide them to the employers. I would like to ask you for this support and these actions. And also, I like to invite you personally to attend our first event in person, that they're meeting with me from America and globally, from India, from Africa and Germany, from Europe. They come in Detroit on August 27 at 5 p.m. That is Thursday. And I hope you will take this invitation in your consideration, or guide me who I should call of your staff to make this appointment, please.
I see Ernie writing it down right now, so I see my social calendar is filling up. So if I am in town, I will be there, and I love what you're doing. If you think about this, the city of Detroit owns 8,000 houses that can be saved. There's no way government can go in and renovate 8,000 houses. It's not possible. But it's going to be a lot of neighborhood groups, a lot of religious groups, a lot of community groups taking 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll be a lot of individuals who are renters saying, I want to own a house in this city. That's the way we're going to do this, and we absolutely will support you in that effort. And I'm glad to hear you're still enthused about it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, so much. Thank you for your support on that. And also, we have to acknowledge the wall that Detroit is America. When you say in Europe that you are from Detroit, everybody knows that you are from America, from Detroit. If you said you are from California, oh, yeah, where is that? But Detroit is the city, the capital of the world that is really recognized as United States capital city.
So you didn't want to tell people you were from Hamtramck.
I was in Hamtramck, Mayor. I told you because of you, I moved on Harrow Street in Detroit.
I know. We're glad to have you, Mom. Thank you very much for the call.
You're welcome. But the Detroit mayor and our council people and Detroit activists or any residents, even children on the streets, you ask about Imam Arif, they will give you even my phone number right away. Even children. I did work for 18 years in Hamtramck like my own city, my own family, and we are one family. Until we not consider each other in America as one family under one God, we will have a problem. So I welcome all people to embrace each other as one own family.
Thank
and
you,
work
sir.
together.
Thank you, sir. Well said.
Thank you, Mayor, very much, and God bless you all. God bless you, Kayana and Ernie, if you can hear me. Continue to work with you.
She can hear you. She's smiling through the mask.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I'm smiling as well. Mayor, we love you, Mayor. We will love you next year also and continue.
All right. All right. You take
Thank you, sir. Have a nice night.
Okay. All right. Who's next?
A quick reminder, telephone participants, please press *9 to raise your hand. From your computer, click the raise hand icon or Alt-Y from a Windows machine, Option Y for Mac. Next is the phone number ending in, oh no, Joan, you are next.
Who is next?
Joan, you may unmute yourself.
Joe, J-O-E?
Jonah.
Jonah.
Joan.
Joan. Okay, if it's close to that, you're on. Go ahead. Is it Joan?
Can you hear me?
Oh, we sure can.
Oh, good. Okay. Can you hear me still?
I
Sorry.
still can hear you. Where do you live?
Okay, perfect. I live in, I'm president of the Optimist Neighborhood Association.
Oh, good.
There's Otter Drive to Hoover, essentially State Fair to 6 Mile, and I'm also on the board of Norristown CDC. And sort of picking back off what you said about the neighborhood organizations rehabbing houses.
Right.
Is it possible to consider some of the land bank rules around that? I think you have to be a registered 501c3, which for some of our smaller groups really isn't a possibility in order to be able to take some control of our neighborhoods.
So we're going to work with you on that, and we're looking at that right now. The question is going to be, is there somebody that's can be financially responsible? We don't want to turn a house over that needs $50,000 worth of work to an entity that doesn't have any resources at all. But if you can work with us on a group, and some neighborhoods are going through their local church, and the church is becoming the vehicle that's doing it. We got one neighborhood over near Puritan and Livernois where the church has renovated 25 houses with a lot of community participation. But talk to Ernie. And we want to be creative with you in how to do this, because I want to move these properties from the city to responsible neighborhood leaders. And it sounds like you've got an entrepreneurial spirit.
And there's a second thing, and my apologies, I came in late on the meeting if you've already covered this, but I'm wondering what your position is on the Bel Air Shopping Center and sort of the imminent demise of that asset for our specifically District 3 in our community.
Yeah. I don't think we will ever see Bel Air fill out retail the size that it is. It's just it's not there. But could we have a smaller center that had some quality shops in it and redevelop the rest of the site, maybe for something that brought jobs to the east side? Something along those lines I would support. And I have not seen a proposal from the new owners, but I do think some retail should stay there.
They have plans to begin demolition, just an FYI.
That's news to me. Have you guys heard that? Dave, have we seen a permit on that?
They're taking it to planning, but I can share that with your office. That was brought to the planning commission last week.
Okay. Are they talking about demolishing everything?
2/3 or 3/4 of it. There's only just the L shape by the Bel Air Theater is going to be left.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure that I disagree with that because, I mean, you look at it right now, I mean, it's terrible. If they got a third of it with quality retail and they kept the theater, and then they got a use that put a few hundred people to work on the balance of the property, something like that to me would be a reasonable approach. But I'm surprised they went to the planning commission without having brought it first to me or to our building and safety folks. So thank you for telling me, and I will check on that tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. How do we not know this?
The next person joined from their LG smartphone. You're ready to go? Please announce yourself.
Barbara Clark.
Good evening.
Hi, Mayor.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing real well now. We just got our alleys clean and they look beautiful.
Really? You must have been at the front of the line on the alley cleanup.
Pardon me?
You must have been at the front of the line on the alley cleanup.
Oh, well, I hope so.
I'm glad. Does it look good?
I can see from one end to the other.
Well, that is good.
Yes.
How long has it been since you could see from one end to the other?
Oh, years.
Yeah.
Years. People have moved away. We had trees and weeds grown up, and they're like meeting in the middle.
Well, we're going to go through the whole city and do that.
Yes. So my question is, okay, they did a good job. Now, there's a lot of dirt that was left. Are they supposed to come back and clean that up?
Yes, they are. So Ernest Johnson is here. You know which alley this is?
Arlington and Hallett.
Okay, they know. So we'll make sure they come back and finish the job.
Okay, very good.
All right.
Now, and I also have a question also about drag racing down Arlington, just like the other caller. I had a suggestion. Is it possible we could get speed bumps put there?
So we put in, I'm going to say we're putting in something like 500 speed humps this year. What I said is I want every school and park done first, and then we're going to move from there. And so we've committed the ones that are going this year. I'm trying to put money in the budget for next year because we have a lot of folks who have the same kind of situation you do. The people are speeding down their street when there isn't a park or a school there, but you still may have children in the neighborhood. And this is an issue across the city. We're doing a couple of things. We're filling the police academy classes because I want to get more officers on traffic patrol in this city, which is something we have a critical need for. But if we can do that and keep adding 500 speed humps a year, I think we can make a difference. So I know Ernest knows about it. We won't be able to get to it this year, but we'll take a close look for next year.
Okay. Now I had something, one last thing for like the land bank. I don't know if this is their area.
Go ahead.
We have like a forest across the street from my house. And I'm wondering if someone could come in over and take a look at it on Arlington, not too far from Hallett.
So I'm told they're writing down the address, and we'll add it to my list of things that I have to do when I get into the office first thing tomorrow. We'll come check it out.
Yes, it's 12532 Arlington. and it's next to McLean. And yeah, I'm wondering if they could take a look at all those bushes and trees over there. We can get them removed and, you know, get that leveled off. It would look so beautiful. The alley would match the front, and that would be something beautiful to look at.
Okay, we will definitely check it out.
Okay, thank you.
Saskia will be on that tomorrow. I know she left her day clear the day after one of these sessions. Who's next?
Next, phone number ending in 305. You're ready. Please introduce yourself.
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Mayor. My name is Regina Solomon.
Good evening.
And I am excuse me, I'm a little hoarse.
You and me both.
My name is Regina. Hi, I'm Regina Solomon. Mr. Mayor, I'm working with a team of current and former Detroiters, myself included, who are submitting a request for site control of the former Burbank school that's on State Fair. And our goal is to develop it into senior housing. We did make contact with the planner that's working on the Gratiot 7 framework so that we can participate, and we're really excited about that.
Good.
We've been challenged because we've been unable to find out who to speak with regarding three things, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
We need to see some architectural plans or from, we understand, DPS to the city. Plans on the building. They're unable to locate or determine whether a phase 1 environmental was done on it and whether where they are in terms of historical designation. So we need
Does
to know.
the city own that school or does the DPS own that school?
No, DPS owned it and now Detroit owns it.
Okay, so we've got control of the building. Okay.
Exactly. Yes, you do. So, I mean, I did talk to some very cooperative people in the building department. They were not able to find any plans on the building. Nothing. I mean, it's almost like it's just been sitting there empty forever. So we just need to know who to talk to. We're really excited. I'm a native Detroiter who, of course, lives out of state now because I'm retired. But we're coming back because we're all very excited about what's happening there in our city. And we all grew up in that neighborhood. So if you could give me some direction, that would
So
be...
we've got some former school buildings getting renovated for housing, and they're complicated projects. Is anybody here from Arthur's shop? Go ahead, Donald. So we're going to get you an answer. So what's happening is there is a group that's going to plan 7 Mile and Gratiot as a whole, and they're going to look at a lot of different projects. Come on, I was talking till you got here. I didn't want you to sit back down. And what we'll do is, does that building work or not work? Does a grocery store work or not work? We actually work through each one of these. And so when somebody like you comes forward, we take it very seriously because you're the kind of person we're interested in. And Donald Rensher, our housing director, is going to help you through the next phase of the process.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I would love to get your information. We can definitely walk you through this. We have a full team that can address all your issues and financing too. So we'd love to have that conversation. So we have the number.
That would be excellent.
Yeah, we will follow up with you. Absolutely.
So how do we get the information to you?
So I know Donald is going to call you tomorrow. He had a day when he didn't call the next day, and I know that's never going to happen again. Do we have the contact information? All right. Yeah, I think it was like 4 years ago, but I haven't let him forget it. So he's going to get right back to you. So
thank you, Mayor.
The team's pretty good about calling back the next day. All right.
Perfect.
Who's next?
Next is Eloise. Please, you are unmuted.
Go.
Please introduce yourself.
Go ahead.
Okay, and I'm not going to feel bad. My name is Eloise Moore.
Eloise.
I'm the president of Binder Street Block Club. I'm calling to give you praises. Our block, specifically where we live at between Outer Drive and Remington, is shaping up to be something fabulous. We have people that have invested in the homes that were abandoned, and they're planting flowers and doing all kinds of wonderful things. And I'm just hoping it spreads on further down to 8 Mile. I was going to ask you about the speed hump. Well, I think I got an answer. So we wanted to ask you if our block club could invest ourselves in speed humps, but I will wait until next year until you get some money and put it down for
Yeah,
us.
the speed humps are pretty expensive. So here, this is where we didn't even have speed humps till 2 years ago, and Detroit, for whatever reason, was resistant. And we picked out 7 areas to try them, because I know our DPW was a little reluctant. The neighbors in those 7 areas were so positive, we've been dramatically expanding them. And what we're going to have to do when we get past schools and parks and a few others this year, we're going to have some kind of objective standard on the amount of traffic and the speed of traffic, because pretty much everybody wants one on every block. And we've got to find a fair way to do this. But there are definitely areas where people are cutting through in high volumes and reckless, areas where we got speeders, where we know we have children on the blocks. We're going to find a way next year to have some kind of objective priority. And I'm going to want to do a whole lot more. So hang in there with us, and we'll get you.
I will. But it's one more question I want to ask you. The only hiccup we have on our block, but one of several, but the important one on the corner of Outer Drive and Binder, there's a used auto lot up there.
Really?
The man is working on cars, and the police came out and gave him a ticket, and they stopped for like 6 months, and now it's going on again. But I'm going to continue to use Improve Detroit, and that's what I do. I click on to Improve Detroit, and I get a handle on it.
I'm going to do better than that. You're going to use Dave Bell, who's in charge of shutting down auto lots. Dave, come on up and talk about what you're going to do about this, because our inspectors, unfortunately, got furloughed with COVID, but before that, they were very aggressive, and I think we have a new one. Go ahead.
Oh, great.
Good evening. Yes, we have been very aggressive on auto lots. We have brought over 343 into compliance. We have issued a bunch of tickets to owners. We've issued bench warrants for owners and arrested owners. So we're going to get your information and look into this particular property. We've been aggressive, and we're going to continue to be aggressive on bad actors as it relates to auto-related units. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I have really been pleased with the job that BSEED has done. We've shut down. It was the Wild West. In fact, we've had a moratorium for the last 2 years, and that I issued an executive order that stopped any new lots, storage lots, auto lots from opening up. And now we've been either shutting them down or making them operate. But you can't have the cars on the sidewalks. You can't be out on the street. You can't have your place looking junky. There's a whole lot of rules there, and they've really done a nice job. But now it sounds like yours. What was the intersection again? Did I lose you?
Lost her just a minute.
Where did she say? Outer Drive and what? Outer Drive and Binder? Okay, I'm gonna go check that one out myself, and then I know Dave will take care of it. All right, who's next?
Next,
Hi,
phone number ending in 659.
659.
Hello.
How are you?
Can you hear? Hi, fine. My name is Joanne Williams, and I belong to CARA, which is City Airport Renaissance Association,
Okay.
and that covers Grinnell, French Road, Van Dyke, and Harper area. Before I start anything, I want to really give out kudos to Kayana Sessoms and Ernie Johnson. I talk to her constantly. I'm sure she's tired of hearing from me, but she's always there to help me out. So I always call her when I have an issue. Okay, there is property that is between 8615 and 8657 Woodlot that has deep holes in it. Now we're trying to keep the block clean as possible, and one of the neighbors cut that block.
Okay.
There are deep holes in there.
There's holes in the property itself?
In the property.
Okay.
Now I put it in C-Click Fix in 2018, and it still has not been taken care of.
Yeah, we normally don't go on to private. Is it private property, or does the land bank own it? Do you know?
No, this is land bank property.
Oh, Saskia, come on back. Saskia's going to fill in the hole. Go ahead.
Oh, good. Okay, I appreciate that. We have been trying and trying because
when they take the lawnmowers and go in there and try to cut it, they go down into the hole, or it won't. The wheels keep turning on the mowers that they ride on, trying to get the grass cut in these holes. And this has been going on, like I say, for years. So we need to have those holes filled in so that we can continue to keep the property up.
Okay.
Now,
So as long as I have the
that
addresses, which I think she's writing down, I'm getting the head nod over there, I can send an inspector, we can make sure that we're doing everything we can to bring those properties up to compliance. Sounds like these are older demos with, where the hole is still standing?
Yeah, because in like I live next door to them, and so in my property itself, there's cement. I'm trying to put in a garden, and there's still the cement where they tore down houses and didn't pick up the cement. They didn't put the proper dirt in, and now they're deep holes, and the trees are beginning to fall over. Because
Well,
the
I think
roots
I'm going to
are
get the
coming up.
addresses, and I'll call you tomorrow, and we'll let you know what we can do about it.
Okay, it's 8615 through 8657. It's between there.
Okay.
And that's Woodlawn.
Okay. Thank you very much. You'll hear from me tomorrow.
Okay. And then,
If you're going to cut the lots, it seems like the least we could do is fill in the hole. So let's see if we can solve that.
And one other issue.
Hey, when was the house demolished?
Oh, God, years ago.
Oh, it wasn't Saskia that did it. Okay, that's what. She's glad to hear that. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was years.
Okay.
But land bank property again, the trees that are growing out of the basement of this land bank property, they're laying on the fence of the neighbor's house. They keep trying to cut them back because it's a wooden fence, and it's bending the fence over.
Okay, so if a tree on a land bank property is damaging neighbor property, we will deal with that.
Right.
Do we have that address, Ernie?
Right.
Okay, we'll deal with that. That's our responsibility.
That's 8614 Woodlawn.
Okay. Sounds like we just need to work our way down Woodlawn.
You know, Kayana has really been helping us out a lot over here, and I really appreciate her coming out and doing what she can do.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the call, and let us get on that.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Number ending in 577.
577. Okay, we got time
Hi,
for a
my
couple
name
of more. Go ahead.
Shepherd. I am a member of the East Davidson Village Community Group.
Okay.
My concern is the lot next door to my house where the land bank had tore this house down maybe like the end of the winter, beginning of spring.
Okay.
When they tore this house down, now there's not a fence across the alley or it separates my yard. I was trying to buy that lot so I could fence in my yard back in, especially across the alley. But I don't want to fence my yard in. If I could buy this lot, I want to extend my fence on across that property.
Right.
And that lot is at 2075 Halleck.
Come on, Saskia. If Saskia owns the lot, she's going to sell it to you.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm looking for, so I can fence my yard back in from them tearing the house down next door to me.
So we have a couple of ways to sell neighbors' lots. If it's qualifies under our side lot program, meaning that it's adjacent to your house, we can sell it to you through that mechanism. Our board has also recently approved vacant land policies so that as long as it's in your neighborhood, we can make it available for sale. So as long as I have the address offline, the address of the lot you're interested in, and the address of where you live, and a way to contact you, we'll see what the best way to get the lot to you might be.
Okay, so you want the addresses now?
No, yes? I think they have your contact information, so I'll reach out to you.
Okay, then I would like for Ernest Johnson to give me a call about a city property right in front of me that a neighbor keeps junked up while we trying to clean up our neighborhood. And I have talked to Scott Benson about that probably 2 years ago, showed him pictures, and nothing ever been done about it.
That's you.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So yes, we will look into this property. If you, we're going to get your contact information, get the address, and we're going to get inspectors out there tomorrow to address this situation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so if that lot is next to you, you ought to be able to buy it for $100 and fence it all in together. So if, let's see if we can get that worked out. That's normally, unless there's something unusual, that's normally the way we can work it out. And Saskia's going to call you tomorrow and see if we can do that. Any other calls?
That was the last caller.
All right, well, thank you all very much.